Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, the Most High, our Creator and our power, who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh, and the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord, our Savior, and our Deliverer, the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls JC. His name is Yahweh Shai, called Halayam La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chagwadash. And double honors be unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety as always unto the elect. And throughout this lesson, I just wanted to go into the importance of adaptability. As I just finished my little walk, I just went on a little walk with the family, and I just, I asked the Lord to give me a topic for a lesson, because I didn't have nothing planned. And, the word that came to mind. Matter of fact, I had seen a sign. And the sign, it said, what did it say? Changing times. So when I seen that sign, it's the spirit, man. I just prayed about it, asking the Lord to send me a topic for a lesson. And then I looked up and I seen the sign, and the sign, it said changing times. And almost immediately the word came to my mind, adaptability, or not adaptability, but Salaki. So yeah, the word adapt came to mind, and I just, it stuck with me. So, I started just putting together some scriptures, through the spirit, dealing with adaptability, right? And just meditating on the importance of adaptability. Now, according to Google, right, we know what the word adapt means, just like we know what many words mean, but it's always good to continue to look into words. It's always good to look into these words and the definition of the words, because you can always come across a new, aspect. It's not going to be a new definition, okay? But it's going to be, you may come across a new aspect of a definition. It may give you a different perspective, or an example of the definition of a word, or what a word means. But I just looked on Google real quick. Adaptability. Now, before I read this, just what came to mind. Adaptability is really a characteristic of survival. It's a necessary tool for survival. If you don't have the capacity to adapt, the ability to adapt, you're not a true survivor, right? Those who, like, you think about different shows like Naked and Afraid, shows like that where people are out there with no tools, and they're thrown into a certain environment, right? An environment that's you don't know what you're gonna get yourself into. You don't know what the day holds, let alone the period of time you're gonna be there, right? The ability to adapt is first and foremost to have an optimistic mentality, because adaptation, it starts in your mind first and foremost. You're not gonna be able to adapt outwardly unless you adapt mentally first. You have a lot of people, right? That's why faithlessness, doubt, hesitation, fear, that's contagious. And to have those type of people around you in a time of stress, in a time of chaos, is unhealthy, because those type of people aren't able to adapt, because they're thinking so much about what's going on that is in a sense demotivating them from continuing on. They just want to sit there and let whatever is happening happen, instead of analyzing the situation, acknowledging it, but then seeing what to do next. When you have the ability to adapt to your environment, you're able to logically analyze that situation and make sound decisions from there, not based off of how you feel in the moment, but based off of what's logical right now. What is the rational decision to make right now? Should I do anything right now? Should I just wait, or should I make a move? Okay, so that is a survival tool. So on Google, adaptability, it says is the capacity to effectively adjust. Keyword, effectively. Okay, because if you just going along to get along, and you just doing stuff based off of how you're not, like I said, the word logically or rationally analyzing your decision. If you're just making decisions on the go, you're not you're not making effective changes. It said the capacity to effectively adjust to new, changing, or unexpected circumstances. How much more does that apply to what we are part of, right? As I mentioned, the show Naked and Afraid, that's scripted. Even though I'm not taking away from them actually being out in the wild or them actually being in that tough situation, that's real. That's real shit. But it's scripted, meaning at the drop of a dime, help is on the way. When somebody get to the point of fainting or to the point of death or starvation, hey, they send the crew out there with a helicopter or a boat or whatever, however they do it, send them back, and give them something to hydrate them, to, feed them, or, shelter them, to make them warm. Life ain't like that though. Okay, when you in a situation, some real shit going on, it's not no camera crew in the background. There's nobody you can just be like, you know what, I can't do it no more. I want out. I want to go. I want to go home. I want to get some food. I want to get some water, and I need a cover. It's cold. I need something. It don't work like that. Real life, you gotta roll with it, and that's another. You can say it's a synonym of adaptability, man. Being fluid, being able to, as they say, roll with the punches. Cliche, but being able to go with whatever situation comes your way, and truly, in these times that we're coming into, understanding that it's gonna be so bad that no other time, no other bad time that has ever been on this earth can be compared to it. The Lord is going to give us a special kind of adaptability in these times, man, which is really, it's the Lord fighting for us. It's the Lord guiding us. The scriptures tell you, man, acknowledge him in all thy ways and he will direct thy path. We acknowledge Yahweh Shem Yahushua in everything that we do. And the Lord gives us the insight that, he gives us the mental capacity to move and to be content in whatever situation we in, right? Prime example, 2020, when the world was going crazy and they was making all these, you know, quick, hasty, rash decisions, panic buying and just losing their mind and in fear. The Lord had the hopeful elect, men and women, grounded, stable, still operating with their wits, while the rest of the world, and that was just a taste of it, right? The scriptures tell you that wit shall hide itself and understanding shall be withdrawn, roughly paraphrasing, but it's going to remain embedded within the elect, man. Lord willing, we be of the elect. We're going to still have that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is going to make us stable, and we're going to be able to move accordingly through the wisdom of the Lord that he's going to put in our minds in that time. There's a time when you just remain, steadfast, right? You remain not steadfast, right? Because we always supposed to remain steadfast, but the word that I wanted to use was stationary, right? It's a time that you remain stationary and you just let the water flow over you, and then there's a time when you go along with the water, if that makes sense. There's a time when you just let whatever is happening happen, and you just take it. But there's a time where you flow with the water. Again, adaptability is the ability, the capacity to be fluid, right? Let me continue in this definition, and I'll get some scriptures. Adaptability is the capacity to effectively adjust to new, changing, or unexpected circumstances by modifying behaviors, strategies, or skills. It is a key trait enabling individuals and organizations to remain productive, resilient, and successful when facing challenges or shifting environments. Heavy, heavy, because we are in the midst of a shifting environment, in the sense of comfortability is being removed from the earth. Okay, sound decision making is being removed from the earth, not from those who in the faith, but from the rest of these people, because the lack of comfortability equals rash decisions. It equals um, hasty decisions, and those are the worst decisions. That's the worst time to make a decision, is when you hungry, when you're scared. And I'm talking about from these people's mind, right? Again, the Lord is going to ground the elect, but these people who don't have that thought in their mind to look forward to, don't worry, the Lord gonna take care of it. Even these people now that claim to be faithful, that claim to believe, they don't really believe, because they serve a different God. They can say God this and God that all they want to. They don't really believe in the true living power. They believe in some God that was fabricated in their mind. And there's no real faith that comes with those false gods. The real faith lies in the true living power, Yahweh, man. And the Lord is going to keep the elect grounded in that day. All right, I'm gonna read that part again, man. I like that part. It says it is a key trait enabling individuals and organizations to remain productive, resilient, and successful when facing challenges or shifting environments. All right. So I'm gonna get Romans 12:2. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Heavenly Father." Okay, the transforming of your mind is, again, like I said, that ability to adapt. It begins in your mind first. If you're thinking the same, if like I said, if you conform to the world, if you're thinking on the same level as the rest of these people in this world think, you're not gonna make it. Because the rest of these people, they only see what's in front of them. They're very carnal. They're very sensual. They operate according to senses, taste, touch, smell, sight, things like that, right? But as the scriptures tell you, we don't walk by sight. We walk by faith. Because even the things that we're gonna see, we don't see it yet. The things that we see right now, right? It's normal, it's calm, it's 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 bearable. But the things that the Lord is gonna see, the things that we're gonna see, that the Lord is gonna send, is things that we never seen before, that we never experienced before. So these people that's only thinking about what's going on right now, and when the situation comes, that's the only time they think about it. They haven't premeditated it beforehand. They're not going to be able to adapt, because they never thought about this being possible to happen. When martial law is in full effect, when famine, because we talking about America, man. Primarily, that's what I'm speaking about. All around the world gonna feel it, but especially America, that has been pampered and spoiled. They this place never seen famine. They never seen missiles hitting this place. They never seen, mass national unrest. It may have been a city, or a certain area that was, uh, there was uproar and there was people, fighting, and stuff like that. And eventually it died down. But you never seen mass all around. Fires, anarchy. This place ain't never seen that. So when it comes, most people are not going to be able to move and maneuver in that day. They're going to lose their shit. They're either going to contribute to the chaos, and they're just going to go out there and say, fuck it, I'm about to take as many people down with me as possible. And they're going to lose their shit, or they're going to fold through fear. They're going to lay down and they're going to take it, and they're just going to die. They're going to be so afraid, they're not going to know what to do. But then you got those, who are they're going to try to survive. They're going to try to get through it. You have some people, the average citizen, who do think about that type of stuff, chaos, and they're going to try to, get through it and survive. They're not going to last, Because it's not about carnal preparation. It's not about how much food you got put up, how much gold and silver you got put up, how many firearms you got. It ain't about having a bulletproof camper. It ain't about having a bunker. None of that shit is gonna save you. Even if these people did premeditate these evils that's coming, if they don't have Yahweh Bashim Shah divinely protecting and guiding them, they're not gonna make it. Okay. So I looked up on, you know, just to see what it say, you know. I looked up on ChatGPT. What is the importance of adaptability? Right? It says, give me 1 second. It says adaptability is important because it helps you handle change effectively and keep moving forward even when situations are uncertain or challenging. And again, we know what's coming. I mean, not say that, but what I'm saying, we don't know the fullness because we haven't experienced it. All we can do is imagine it. We can premeditate it, but when it's actually in full effect, it's gonna be different when you actually experiencing it. We know that. Just like anything, you can think about scenarios all day, but until you actually are in it and you experiencing it, that's when you really know what it's about. Right? So again, the adaptability is important because it helps you handle change effectively and keep moving forward even when situations are uncertain or challenging. And lately, I've been really, which I watch a lot of, or not watch, but listen to a lot of Stoic videos. But really, I've been speaking on it more so lately, man, because that's the mindset that I'm getting in more, as well as speaking to brothers to get into that Stoic mentality as well, because it's important, man, and it's gonna be necessary to have in these times that we're coming into, because that is the part of the characteristics of a Stoic, to be adaptable. You ain't gonna sit there and complain. You're not gonna sit there and just be in that woe is me spirit and just be like distraught because some misfortune happened in your life. No. Recently, I did a video on that Latin term, premeditatio malorum, which is the premeditation of evils or the anticipation of misfortune, right? Again, if you don't have that, the adaptability is going to be canceled out automatically. If you're not already thinking shit going to get bad, I don't know when, I don't know exactly how, but I know it's going to get bad. I'm not going to sit there and just be defeated, man. And it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai and the strength that the Lord gives us. It ain't of our own doing. But I believe the Lord is going to provide me with every tool that I need, as well as the hopeful elect brothers and sisters, man, all around the world. The Lord going to provide us with everything that we need to adapt to whatever situation we in. We're not just going to sit there and faint and fold and give in and be devastated. No. Because we understand the end of it, man. Hey, at the end of the day, it's fire. As it's called, the fire of adversity. It's just fire. We want to be as gold. We want to be purified. We got to go through fire. That's my mind. That's my mentality. The second part, it says, at its core, adaptability means being flexible in your thinking and actions. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, whether in school, work, relationships, or personal goals. When you're adaptable, you don't get stuck when things shift. You adjust, learn, and find new ways to succeed. Now, when I looked this up, I didn't even read through this. I briefly scanned it, but I didn't read the whole thing. So it's right in line with what I'm saying. Like I read the first like paragraph, little sentence, and then I just just saved it. But that's the truth, man. I'm gonna read that part again. It says when you're adaptable, you don't get stuck when things shift. You adjust. I didn't read that part. When I said what I just said, I didn't read that part. It says you adjust, learn, and find new ways to succeed. Yep. Just like when you get thrown in a situation, man. It's only two outcomes. It's only two decisions that are gonna lead to two outcomes. You either gonna figure out, first and foremost, you take it in, understand what you in, and then decide what to do from there. Are you gonna sit there and just let every thought flood your mind and overwhelm you to the point to where you just you freeze up and let the situation or the outcome, or not outcome, but the environment consume you and overcome you? Or take it a step at a time. You know, what's the most necessary step to take right now? What's the wisest step to take right now? You ain't gonna be able to do everything at once. Sometimes you might have to sit for a little bit, take some pain, take some uncomfortability, discomfort, whatever, however you want to say it, and then you can make a decision. But sometimes you got to make a decision fast. It depends, right? It says it also plays a big role in growth. Yeah, man, and that's important when it comes to this truth, man. The ability to adapt, right? That's important because things are constantly changing, constantly. Especially now, it's moving much faster. The Lord is speeding up the time even more. Every year that passes, it goes by much faster. We already in April right now. The year just started. It's April. This is the first quarter of the year almost fully. Okay. Well, actually, it is a quarter already through, because the quarter is 3 months. So we already a quarter through the year, man. That's crazy. We in the second quarter, entering into the second quarter. It says it also plays a big role in growth. When you're open to change, you're more willing to learn new skills. And yeah, and that's important too. Because again, like I mentioned, a lot of these people, they're so stuck on what they used to. All right, they always dwell on what they used to, and when things change, they get not only offended, but they get thrown off, and they become dysfunctional when they're used to certain things going a certain way and being steady, that when it gets shaken up, they become dysfunctional and don't know how to move, because they never thought about this situation, so they never thought about what to do in that situation. It says when you're open to change, you're more willing to learn new skills, accept feedback, and try new approaches. That's how people improve over time instead of staying stuck in one way of doing things. See, I didn't even read this. All right. So let me read this second portion. It's probably gonna mute me right now. I'm gonna read this second portion and then get the rest of my precepts. It says, in practical terms, adaptability helps you solve problems more creatively, stay calm under pressure, right? That's stoicism. Take advantage of new opportunities and bounce back from setbacks. Yeah, that's man, that's heavy right there. And it reminds me of what it says in Sirach 2, when it says, first and foremost, make not haste in time of trouble, right? And it says, be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Be patient when you're changed to a lower state. Don't become hasty. Don't become over. It's easier said than done, but don't let yourself get overwhelmed. It's easy to let them thoughts of pessimism flood your mind. This just happened. Oh shit, what's next? What am I gonna do? How to, you know, it's easy to do that. That's why I'm me personally. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm also encouraging brothers, man. Let's practice more. You may already be doing it, but let's practice more. Making sound decisions those tough situations. It was a way I wanted to say it, but it slipped my mind. But making those decisions under pressure, right? Those rational decisions under pressure, right? Which we already should be practicing that, but we can always sharpen up. I can always sharpen up. It says in fast changing environments like modern workplaces or technology driven fields, adaptability isn't just helpful, it's essential. People who can adjust quickly tend to perform better and stay relevant. And they talking about it from a workplace perspective. It was more a survival perspective, right? Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna get to this next precept. I'm gonna get Philippians chapter 4 and verse 11 in the G&T. It says, and I am not saying this because I feel neglected, for I have learned to be satisfied with what I have, which is talking about contentment. All right, and that's part of adaptability as well. That part right there of being satisfied with whatever you have is contentment, and contentment allows you to accept your current state, your current condition. I have excuse me. It says I know what it is to be in need and what it is to have more than enough. I have learned this secret so that anywhere at any time I am content, whether I am full or hungry, whether I have too much or too little. I have the strength to face all conditions by the power of Hamashiach Yahushua. That Hamashiach Yahushua gives me. Okay? And we also have it. Okay? We have that strength. That is a strength. Adaptability is a strength. It's a tool, but it's a strength. Not everybody has that. Not everybody are capable of that. And we're going to see that. We're going to see that in real time. That these people are not wired to adapt to change. That's why they're going to give in so easily, so quickly to the new system, the MOTB, the mark of the beast, when it come. Okay? When it says adapt, that's not what it means by adapting. Okay? We want to adapt to living without being a part of the system. We don't want to adapt. Oh, when it comes, it's just times are changing and we got to go along with it. No, that's not what it means. We have to learn to adapt and live without being a part of that system. Okay, and the Lord is going to give us the ability to do so, man. And it's through the faith that we have in Him. We believe the words that's written. Okay, just like Apostle Paul was saying, man. He knows how to be abased and how to be abound, to be content in whatever state he's in. Okay, so they're gonna ostracize us from society, right? When it says in Revelation 13 how He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that anyone who would not receive the mark should be killed. When you go into that word killed, it's to be cut off from society. So that's pretty much putting you to death in a prolonged way, because the scriptures tell you that when you defraud a man of his living, that makes you a murderer. When you take away a man's living, his necessities, the things that are a part of survival and livelihood, that's you pretty much killing them. Okay, so that's what they're going to attempt to do. Now, don't get it twisted. It also says that some are going to be beheaded for the testimony of Yahushua, right? For forsaking this society and for not taking the MOTB. You have some that are actually going to be killed, murdered, martyred, but also there's going to be those who just cast away, left to fend for themselves, because they know. That's why it says He calls of all, small, great, rich, poor, free, bond. It covers everybody, because it's going to be such a tight system that it's not going to be no loopholes or shortcuts. Okay, they're going to make it to where you can't have a family member. And I just speak as a man. You're not gonna be able to have a family member because most of our family, they're not in the faith. They don't believe what we say. They don't listen to us you know when we tell them what's going on. So they're gonna fall right in line with the system. They're gonna put their hand out. They're gonna get it because they want to eat. They want to work. They want to survive. They want to live. They want to continue. So they're gonna fall on it, and they know that it's not gonna be like, oh well. It's not like, okay, one of my family members got food stamps, and you know, I just use them and eat off of them. They're gonna make it to where, listen, you either with it or you not. You're gonna be left to fend for yourself, and they're gonna make it to where you ain't gonna be able to just live off the land. They're gonna make it tight. That's why it's gonna be so hard for these people to make that decision. Okay, so that's part of being content in whatever situation you're in, whether you are without or whether you have abundance. Proverbs 3 and 5. This is in the NLT, in verse 6 as well. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding, because your own understanding will mislead you. It'll deceive you, and it'll convince you to make the wrong decision." It says, "Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take." And it goes right along with Isaiah 55, right? Of Not Isaiah 55. So like, I was thinking about "Seek ye the Lord while He may be found," but the one that I was thinking of was the one that I quoted a little earlier of, "Acknowledge Him in all thy ways, and He will direct thy path." It might be in Isaiah 55, but anyway, acknowledge the Lord in all our path, which is prayer, man. Pray, and not just asking the Lord for anything, but giving thanks, praying, praying throughout the day, acknowledging the Lord in everything that we do. All right, the scriptures tell you, "Blessed is the man whose mind is stayed on thee." I'm just paraphrasing it. When the Lord is constantly in your mind in all your decision making, before and after you make a decision, the Lord is directing our paths, man. And a lot of times, in our ignorance and us just being subject to the flesh, sometimes we make the wrong decision because we flawed, we're men, and the Lord he protects us from ourselves, right? But I'm gonna read it again. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take." That is guidance, right? And the Lord said to fear not, because He's the guide of them that keep His commandments. We are not to fear, man. We have to trust that the Lord, He's gonna guide us, He's gonna lead us, and He's gonna give us all the tools we need. All right, but we're not gonna be out here lost. There's gonna be times when we confused. There's gonna be times when we might be overwhelmed. I'm not saying we're not gonna go through human emotions and thoughts, but it's the Lord that's gonna bring us right back. He's gonna ground us. We get to going through those emotions and those thoughts, and because we're gonna be in some shit, man. It's the Lord that's gonna pull us back. He's gonna hold us down to keep us from being blown away, being washed away. Okay, get a couple more. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get this last precept, right? I'm gonna get 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. It says, "Preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine." Right? And the point within this precept, I wanted to pretty much put emphasis on is the part where it says be instant in season, right? Because we always use this specifically when talking about teaching the word, going out there in any weather, man. But that it still stands, because it's going to come a time where we're not going to be going out on the highways and hedges. We're not gonna be doing these videos. It's gonna be a different type of work. We still gonna be doing the work. We still gonna be serving and laboring, but it's gonna be a different type of way. I say this all the time. When the Lord brings about the famine of the word, we're still gonna be laboring, but it's gonna be in a different way because it's gonna be a new level that we're gonna reach. It's gonna be a new environment. So it's gonna require a new type of labor, if that makes sense. Right now we fishers. We prophesying and we teaching. It's gonna come a time where it ain't gonna be nothing to prophesy about because all the prophecies are gonna be majority fulfilled. The only thing left is the MOTB and World War III, the War of Armageddon. But there's gonna come a time where the things that we're speaking about now is gonna get so intense, right? Because I mentioned this is the fire. The fire is getting turned up. It's being intensified. The fire is gonna get so hot to where we gotta get to safety. The dangers are gonna be so close that we gotta get to safety. So we may be protected. So we ain't gonna be out there on the highways and hedges teaching. Now it's gonna be straight application, applying what we've been saying, practicing what we've been preaching, and living by the faith that we say that we have. That's all it's gonna be. There ain't gonna be no need to prophesy no more because the prophecies are gonna be happening. Just like don't know storm alarm, storm sirens go off to give warning that the storm is coming. When the storm is there, ain't no sirens going off. It's just storm. Okay, so let me get the NLT version of this. It says, "Preach the word of the Most High. Be prepared." Right, and when you go into that word instant, it means also to be ready. Right, be prepared. Okay, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Okay, whether the time is favorable or not. Patiently correct, rebuke, and encourage your people with good teaching. All right, that preparation is a spiritual preparation. All right, and again, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. It begins in your mind first, and then it reflects on the outward. You prepare your mind first, and your body follow. Okay, so the ability to adapt is the ability to accept and adjust according to whatever environment you in, whatever circumstance you in. Okay, and may the Lord continue to equip us with whatever He see fit, man. Whatever He see fit for the times that we in. Okay, Lord willing, I pray this lesson was edifying, and with that, I'm gonna give all praise, praise, honor, glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety to the hopeful elect. DTA and Bible all. Kwame Ashala. Until next time, Shalom.